Like I've sat in rooms with millionaires, literally millionaires. I'm 22. Millionaires are asking me, what should I do with my money? Are you crazy?
That's mad.
That is nuts.
Are you crazy?
Your eyes are
That's
thinking,
mad.
damn, wow.
That is mad.
Yes, people, welcome back to the Property Strategist podcast.
Come on.
We're back in the building. We got a legend in the building right now. We got a legend in the building. We got as seen on the Sun. You know what I'm saying? Channel 4. Good morning, Britain. We got the big man himself, E-Man with the E-Man effect.
Come
Yo.
You
Hey,
saying my
man.
brother?
Yo, you saying my brothers? You good?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
good,
man.
man.
Sweet, man.
Thank you.
Come on.
Good morning.
Before I get into E-Man, I need to introduce my bros, of course.
Come on.
Kenny,
Thank you.
Gox, my big bros. How's things?
What you saying?
Yeah, we're here, man.
Yeah?
We're here.
You're mellow. I hate when you man do this morning kind
here.
of DJ voice.
We're here.
Yeah, it's 9 a.m. in the morning, innit? So
9 a.m. in the morning.
Why,
morning.
why are you trying to make your voice
I'm
sound
not as
deep,
natural, man.
Nah,
It's natural. That's what we do, man. What you saying, Nax?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Such a long week, man. Such a long week. Up and down the country, bro. I'm really doing James Bond. They call
You
me
was
James
in
Bond now.
Liverpool.
Yeah. Well, Liverpool, there's obviously that project we're doing in Liverpool. So I had to do just a little refurb, manage that. Met Israel as well, which was good, who's like a project manager, refurb kind of guy. So it's good to meet him. And back to London for the family, record, and then back to Birmingham. But
Come on.
yeah, Kenny, how you doing, my brother?
Yeah, no, this week's been, I've been planning some other stuff that I will reveal on a later date.
What are you planning, bro?
Big news
I
coming
said I'll
soon.
reveal on a later date.
Is this
but
for the
yeah,
fans? Is this for the listeners, or is this for us?
I mean, this is mainly for you two.
Oh,
but,
okay, thank you. But I mean, you put it out there now, so guys,
Yeah,
exclusive
so-
with Kenny.
Soon come in it.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but man, this guy, man, that we got next to us, you know what I mean? Bro, you're changing the game out here, making such a big impact. Obviously, I just see you as like a big brother online. I'm not gonna lie.
like, uncle, why are you doing that? Why are you spending that?
yeah.
You want to go on holiday?
You've had me in stitches. Like you've been in everybody's group chat. So yeah, man, I'm just so excited to have you next to us. Thank you for taking time out to come see us. Let's dive straight in, man. I want to know a bit about you, how you started. We're gonna get into how you got into sort of wealth and financial, planning and advising. But what's your background, E-Man? Like, tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, man. Big up everyone. Nah, big up you, man, first. You know what I mean? Because I love what you lot are doing. I love what you represent. And, for me, it's always good to give back to the next generation. You have to understand that one voice is never enough. Do you understand? So you need many voices. And there are people that you guys will touch that will never relate to me or hear what I got to say and stuff like that. So it's always important to encourage, to give back. And that's why when I got the invite, I got a big invite.
You're gassing, man.
Big invite, I said, nah, I gotta come down and support my brothers.
Appreciate it.
Because at the end of the day, when we watch the news, we watch the TV, we're not seeing man them like you on there. Do you understand? And you're a man them just like everyone else, but you're not the man them they want to promote. So it's important that we shine a light on man them doing positive stuff.
Thank you, bro.
Coming from nothing and making something. So
Absolutely.
that was why I had to honour the invitation.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you,
man.
sir.
First of many.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But for me, I guess where it started, I grew up in East London, Tower Hamlets.
Okay.
The real hood.
E-Man the roadman back in the day.
You know that. I wish. I got Nigerian parents. So
Okay,
your mum's clocking everything. But,
Okay, cool.
But man grew up on a council estate, East London. Like, do you know what I mean? And for me, it was either basketball, rugby, or MCing. Do you know what I mean? That was it. There was no such thing as trying to achieve anything positive. But yet, where I grew up, obviously Tower Hamlets, that's Canary Wharf. So imagine being on council estates and having no dough. You look out your window,
You see
And then you're seeing
tall buildings,
these big
money.
buildings.
Mad.
it's crazy.
Big buildings, and I always tell people, like, in my house, if you left the light on, big trouble. Like, you left the light on, your mum was like, Iman! And you'll be running, sprinting down the stairs to tell you, did you leave the light? Like, the light on in the kitchen was a big thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think that money grows on trees? You think we got money there? You know how hard? So,
Memories.
come on. So then imagine now, after doing that, you go back to your room, you look out your window, 10 o'clock at night, 100 floors, all the lights on.
That's crazy. Do you think that?
Wow, that's mad.
That's mad,
that you were thinking that.
Come on.
That's mad. You're like, what? How comes they're allowed
There's
to have
more.
their lights
There's
on?
more out there.
Come on.
Because it's
more out
literally
there.
at your doorstep.
At my door, that's what I'm trying to say. And some of us don't see the inspiration around us.
Do you think that's what made you sort of start to think that way and then made you want to start doing what you're doing now?
100.
Okay.
If I didn't, and people always say, "Oh, but what if you live so?" For me, I know that was my inspiration. I know seeing Canary Wharf and seeing these buildings and just that little thing in my little young mind at 13, 14 to say, "Rah, Mum's onto me about the light, but these men
You might leave the light on all day,
night.
all night.
There's dough. They've got dough.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
There's money over there. That made me, and so I could see from my window, I could see the HSBC and the Barclays building.
Yeah.
And that was that.
That's crazy,
I've got to get into one of them buildings. That was my inspiration. My window became my vision board. Do you understand? Before I even knew what a vision board was, do you know what I mean? That was my vision board. I would sit up and I would look and I say, "Nah, man, you're gonna make it." You know, you watch all these Rocky films and all that. You understand? You understand? That was me. I was looking. I was like, "No, you're gonna get there." Don't know how. Ain't got no bridges. I'm the oldest child, so it's not like I got a big brother or someone that can say, "Right, man, look, go meet this." No. But I knew that was my motivation.
Okay.
I had to make my way over there.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, cool. And obviously your journeys, I mean, great thing about today, there's no more like sort of you're doing a bit of both, right?
Yeah.
Like you got the normal route that you take in terms of like getting to uni, getting a great job, doing that way, which you've done.
Yeah.
And you got the other route, which is, you know, taking advantage of the new age now, social media, doing content, all these things as well. So I want to start with the first part, like uni. You know, what did you study at uni? And what was the plan from uni when you were leaving? Like how to get into when this thing about money and wealth come into it as well?
Yeah, I think you know what. For me, I went Greenwich University.
Oh, sick,
Yeah,
bro.
my mum wouldn't let me go away. She said if I went away, I was gonna come back with babies. So, honestly, I couldn't go away. I was meant to go Brunel, but she wouldn't let me go.
Everyone wanted to go through that.
I wanted to go Brunel. It's close enough to London to come back. You know, you want to be free from the African parents.
Yeah. Your mum ain't having it.
She wasn't having it. So I had to go Greenwich. And so I stayed at home, which obviously allowed me to work. So my dad, he stuck it on me. So literally, I always tell people the story. So I turned it, my birthday is like May 27th, So May 28th, come into my room. If you don't, this is when I'm 18. If you don't get a job, you gotta get out of this house.
Wow.
He gave me one day.
What?
He gave me 1 day to
Not even a
be
week.
18.
Not even a month.
Enjoy your birthday. Next day, he's
Wow.
like, if you don't get a job, you will come out of my house. I said,
Wow.
And you're being
said,
serious.
this
Nigerian
man is
parent.
not, come on, you're not Nigerian parent.
Yeah.
Come on, you was dead.
The way I was
Play
eating, my
games.
dad always tell me, Lidl's got them 2 cartons.
Yeah, we know.
I would take the carton and take it to my room. So I say, no, you can't be eating like this in my yard. You're taking the whole carton. So he's saying, no, you can't be eating like this, big like this, and you're just not contributing.
Yeah, no, okay.
So literally one day, I had 1 day to be 18. And then the next day, like, go get a job.
Yeah, adult now.
You're adult. That's it.
Nah, just like that.
No joke. So then from there now, I got a job, and this is where we talk about vision. So I got a job, Marks and Spencer's, Canary Wharf. So I couldn't yet get into the building.
Was that intentional or was that?
It was. When I saw it, I was like, "This is me."
Man.
Like, imagine I went through local. These times it's newspaper, not online. Like, you know, I'm going through local newspaper, and I see the advert. I apply. Do you know what I mean?
Sick.
And so I get the job. So now I'm in Canary Wharf.
Where you used to look at
So
your window.
I've been looking at it, and now I'm
you're
there.
there.
Now I'm getting up. I'm going there. 5 a.m. shift, going there. There's not even no bus. I'm walking to get the DLR 2 stops around the corner. So I'm there, and I'm at uni as well. And I realized, listen, this education thing is not me. Like, so I'm at uni for my parents. I am a person. I should have done an apprenticeship.
Okay.
Do you understand?
But the stigma
But
with
come on.
apprenticeship and stuff like
It
that.
was not no
It wasn't a
Like, you
thing.
can't
back
really
then.
tell parents that you want to do that and not go to uni.
How dare I?
How dare you?
How dare
They
you?
won't understand.
Me that's been feeding you for how many years?
Come on.
The arrogance.
You think they,
It's like an insult to them.
it's an insult.
They came all the way from Nigeria
Oh,
for you
no
now to
way.
be doing apprenticeship.
For you to go and do BTEC or they will
That's the way they see it.
Dance and tech.
And they want to brag as well and say, my son is here. My son does this. It's like uni.
come on. So I've had to go uni. So I'm just there. But for me, I'm not gonna lie. I was at uni for girls. That's what I was doing. There was no education. No education. I'm just looking in a lecture theatre and just sitting next to different girls. Do you know what I mean? During the lecture, just trying my best. Trying to progress. Putting in the real hours. Do you understand? So obviously I've known, but I'm not dumb. I'm like, I know that I'm not gonna get the best grades. So when men are talking about they're gonna go on this summer camp or this apply for grad scheme, I'm not grad schemes is not me. Do you understand? I'm not getting that.
At least you knew.
I knew. So from there I was like, okay, I'm at Marks and Spencer's working part time. I used that experience to get a job in Barclays. So now I'm in Barclays. Like,
What role was that in Barclays?
as a cashier.
Wow,
And this is why some people, you want to be at the, listen, get your foot in. You see one thing I learned in life, get your foot in. You see once you're in, the world is your oyster. Do you understand? But from the outside, and also, I knew that I'm going back to uni, but there was no part-time jobs. I just applied for a full-time job. Went in full-time, made them love me, and then told them, I want to go uni. And then they gave me part-time.
Wow.
Do you understand?
No
So I got part-time from being full-time internal.
So did you know that was that the plan though, like to do
100%.
full-time and then just tell them?
Just tell them.
Okay.
Yeah, just tell them, I'm just going back to uni.
Because they loved you.
They
We
love
don't want
Come
him
on.
man to go.
Come on, I never mentioned uni to them.
Yeah,
I never
yeah,
mentioned to them. I'm just applying, just trying.
But how did you do it then while you were still at uni to be full-time? Like, was there sort of sacrifices that had to be made
So
then?
you would imagine this way. Sometimes it's just God. So I applied, and when I got my start date was summer holidays. So literally that 2 month uni holiday, that 2 month is the period where I just did.
You have to love me.
I have to love me. I mean, every day.
Putting in work.
I like work.
Laughing at them jokes that aren't even funny.
Them dead jokes. Drinking tea. I don't even like tea. You know the ones there.
Tea's the one, boy.
These man
Everyone
love a
offering
tea.
tea.
How many sugars?
How many sugars you
I'm
want?
making tea. I'm all googling how to make tea. I don't even know how to make. I don't even drink this thing. Do you know what I mean? I have to make
Right,
tea.
Kath? You want one? Yeah. Right, mate.
Come on.
But that's humble of you though, like the
Very
fact that
humble.
you even said, I'm gonna put in the work, I'm gonna research to try and make them love me rather than being just
Bro, when you haven't got, and this is we can look for excuses. You understand? We can always look for, I don't have this, I don't come from there, nobody taught me. Or you can say, how do I learn? How do I make this work for me? How do I make the best of the situation I'm in? So for me, it was like, okay, I'll try. Even if I go there and they say, you know what, we've only got full time. I've tried, and then I'll use that experience to go get some. I have to take a risk, and it worked out. So then I've gone part time at Barclays. Got a new manager. So my manager that gave me part time, she left, and then I got a new manager in, and he changed my life. His name's Hakeem. His name's Hakeem, and Bangladeshi guy. Remember, I'm from East London, so it's mainly Bangladeshi.
okay.
So I've never seen like a young manager. He's young. So what? I'm 18, 19. He's 24, 25.
What?
He's the branch manager.
Branch manager.
He's the branch manager. So
That's crazy.
so he's talking like me. You understand? We get each other. So he's like, obviously he likes man, but I'm that, because you're part time. I don't know if you don't know, but when you're part time, you be thinking, right, you know what? You can't tell me coming at 9 o'clock. I mean, at 8:45. I don't want to do branch meeting.
I don't need to be here. Like,
I don't need to be
I'm
here.
part time, so I'm coming in 9 o'clock with all the customers.
yeah.
We all coming in together.
Together at
They
the
come and
door.
open the door. You understand?
Yeah, man.
It's looking wild. There's no professionalism. Here. Do you know what I mean?
Who's been there?
But
Come
I'm
in and
just
walk to the back.
like, man's all got my sandwich and that. I'm just there.
There
So
was just do it up your tie
Come
last
on,
minute.
come on. It's not even ironed. You know what I mean? You just get a blazer on
There
top
was-
and button.
This button is so you can only see this here.
This part, come on.
Bad thing.
So obviously he's noticed, but he's obviously we get on. So he's talked to me and he's just said to me a few things. First, he's told me, if you're on time, you're late. And I thought, what do you mean? Like, if you're on time, you're late. He's like, if you're on time, you're late. And what he was trying to, and what I clocked is that, you see, if you have to, like today, I'll come here. I've had to prepare to make sure that I'm on time. I've had to prepare the night before. I've had to work out. I've got to go online and look at my route, look at how long it's going to take. Work out, okay, if it's going to take this much time, this is the time I need to wake up. This is how long it's going to take me to get dressed. This is what I need to do before. You're prepared for your day. So that's why I say if you're on time, you're late. Because if you only aim to be on time, you don't need to think. You just get up and you go.
That's true.
But when you want to be, when you want to be early, you have to prepare yourself and plan yourself. And now you go into your day rather than your day take you.
Oh yeah, wow! Dropping life gems.
Because you know the feeling when sometimes when you wake up late, like you just feel like you're chasing the day. Chasing the day. So
And that carries through. That carries through throughout the day.
So you had this older guy that basically, we all had that. he's basically trying to iron out the ends inside of you. He's just like, all this stuff you're doing, come on, you need to step up your game.
Step it up. And he's like, you got personality, so you can sell. And this is people buy people.
Honestly.
100%.
People buy people. So he was like, listen, you see all the banter, all the jokes that you can sell. But he's like, you need to add what you've got with the knowledge of what's in there. So he started making me pick up. In the banking hall them times, there'll be them little booklets that you can, what a bank account is, what a credit card is. He made me pack them, take them home and read them and learn. And then he was, so now I've got the confidence. So he's like, your personality plus the knowledge. All of a sudden, I'm the top seller in the whole branch.
Bro.
When I tell you, I'm part-time.
Part-time.
And I'm hitting more target than people that are 5 days a week.
That's mad.
Wow. E-Man effects. That's when the E-Man effects started.
Excellent.
To the point where when you're on a week holiday, the branch are struggling.
Wow.
So they feel your effect.
Like,
literally.
E-Man effect, they're feeling it.
Remember, I'm a cashier.
Irreplaceable.
I'm the lowest. But I'm the most important.
Man. Shout out
Think
to
about
Hakeem,
that.
fam.
I'm the
Think
most,
about that.
Hacks put me on. So now, all of a sudden, I've learned the skills. So when I've now graduated, when everyone's going to apply, Barclays have told me, E-Man, we can't let you go.
Value.
What do you want to be?
Hey.
So I've looked. They're giving me all the different job roles. You can go into a personal banker and become assistant branch manager. You can go into relationship management.
Options.
Then I saw this brother. He had a Saab 995. You know, from Paid in Full.
I don't know.
I know.
Can't lie.
Have you seen Paid in Full?
I have, but
So you see when he comes out of jail and he drives up in
Whip.
the whip.
Okay.
When he brings them home and he drives on the block, that's a Saab.
Man, them are
Okay.
So that's the Saab. So that's what the man. So he gets it. So I speak to him. I say, "Where you get this from?"
How you get this?
Where you get this from?
This reminds me of that Wolf of Wall Street. You know when it's like, hey, what do you actually do?
What do you actually do? Come on.
For a living?
What do you do? Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
So he's like, yeah, that's a company car. I'm a financial advisor. Okay. And so we get a company car as part of. So I was like, what? So you don't pay nothing? He's like, nah, I don't pay nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
So you get paid for working and then you get a free car as well.
Get a free car.
Cool. That one, that's the one I want.
These questions are killing me.
I said, I want that job. People think it's that, bruv. I said, I want that job.
Ah, boy.
That is it.
That was it. And so from there, that was it. They did the interview, passed the interview stages, became the youngest financial advisor in Barclays, age 22.
Wow.
What do you know about that?
I think we have to clap for that.
Yeah, what do you know about that? What do you know about that?
But that's mad because you didn't even know what a financial advisor. You
know
just
what.
saw the car.
You just saw and said, that's it.
Do you know, I'm catching me about you. Curiosity.
Come on.
Yeah.
So every time you get curious about something, you see something, you're just following up.
Come on.
And thankfully, God is just aligning you with the right people.
And that's the thing. And so for me, I was like, yo, this is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. And I made it. And it happened. 22. I'm not limited by where I'm from or who I know. Like, I'm making it in.
22.
And I can only do that because I was inside. And this is why I always want to tell people, like, you've got to put yourself out there. So if a man says, you man do property. If a man says, I wanna buy a property by the time I'm 22, can do it.
You can.
Why not?
100%.
Can do it. You might miss other things. You might not have no girlfriend. You might not
Holidays.
No holidays. You might not have nice clothes. But you can do it. You have to know what your goal is. For some of us, our goal is drip, and you will drip and have no dough.
It's coming out.
Drip.
It's coming out now. It's coming out.
Is it alive? This man drip everywhere. Drippy, and then you got no dough. You understand?
Drop.
For me, I can't. It doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't. Like I've sat in rooms with millionaires, literally millionaires. I'm 22. Millionaires are asking me, what should I do with my money? Are you crazy?
That's mad.
That is nuts.
Are you
Your eyes are
crazy?
just thinking, damn, wow.
That is mad.
At 22,
What do
millionaires.
Me?
I don't even live.
How much is my account at that point? How much is my account now? I'm telling millionaires, oh God.
Looking in the booklet.
One second. You know, you're just blagging.
You're
And you go back and speak to one of your elders and be like, yo, so what would you recommend?
What you should recommend? I can recommend.
That's how you learn.
I just want to know.
That's how you learn. That's how you learn.
real.
Like, do you understand? And that's the thing. Sometimes you got to be honest as well. So I'm in with millionaires. I'm talking to them. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting the information. I'm like, okay, let me get back to you. I'm not gonna try and fake it and say we should do this. No, we're gonna do this in 2 parts. I'll take time out. I see you as a precious and important client. So I'm not
Do a
gonna
bit of
rush.
research.
We're saying the right words right now.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not gonna rush
I'm sold. sold.
do
I'm
here.
sold.
I'm
I hear
sold,
that.
yeah,
I hear
definitely.
that.
Yeah.
Bruv,
He knows what he's
but
doing.
in reality, I ain't got a clue. I ain't got a clue. I've got to go and speak to my big guys.
To know what
Imagine
gone.
all my colleagues, late 40s, early 50s, they could all be my parents. All of my colleagues could be my parents. The average age of a financial advisor is 55. And I'm here at 22.
Wow.
So-
God really positioned you, man.
Come
Honestly,
on.
man.
But I'm not, for too many of us, we're limited to our environment. I wanted to get out of it. I didn't want it. I didn't want to. I remember going to school and you sit in the bus and you got to be on the edge by the window to look who's coming on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if the wrong person comes on,
yeah.
you've got to duck out.
You gotta go to the front of the bus.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Or you got to put your phone in your boxes.
Of course, yeah.
Bro, these things is
Hey, I don't miss
mad.
those days, you know. I don't miss them days still.
These things is mad, and we just living like.
Which living like
It's
normal.
normal. It's normal. It's
Growing
normal.
up.
It's normal. It's normal.
So for me, I was like, nah, I gotta get out of here. I don't want to see that. I'm tired. I don't want none of it. I was going Lidl's before it was cool, bro. Like now we're seeing Audi A5s in them. Bro, I was going Lidl when you're embarrassed to hold the bag.
Oh, yeah, I
I
understand.
used to hold,
I can
used to hold
relate.
the food in man's hands.
I can relate.
I remember one time my mum sent me to go and buy a bottle of oil. I bought the oil, I put it in my Popo come past, they pulled man over. What's
way.
this? Pulled man over.
They pulled you over thinking you had
Thinking I had
something.
something in my thing, I pulled out oil. They just laughed. Do you understand? We're in the hood, like.
That's
Do you
it.
understand? Because you're so embarrassed to walk with a Lidl's bag.
I want to ask you, 'cause that's important. I mean, like, one big thing that happens when we're trying to get down this part of building wealth and working and just kind of just bettering ourselves, you have to avoid, the stuff in ends. Like, you have to just, was your mentality always, I'm better than this? Or was it a thing of, from the time you saw the lights and you were looking outside the window, or was it something else?
You know what it was? It's the people around me. So I grew up in church. So I grew up in church. So we've been Sunday school, and then after Sunday school got this thing called Crusaders, where once you're a teenager, everyone's in there. So we've grown up together. So although I've got obviously friends at uni and school, these are my people. Because
You see them
come
quite
on,
a lot.
we've all gone secondary school same time. We've all gone college. We've all gone uni, but we're all together because we're all at church. And so my cousin, he's from Brixton, and I'm from East, but I'm always going over there to his house.
Yikes.
Do you know what I mean? Taking that journey. Luckily, I just protected. I had one of them faces where people always felt like they know, man. So I'll be in.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you're right, bro.
No, for real. I feel like I know
Bro,
you.
do you understand? Like, I got one of them faces where people are like, oh no, yeah, I saw
That's
cousin.
E-man. It's got
But like, so I used to just walk and I'm like, yo, you alright, bro? Like, yeah, bro,
What's
cool.
going on?
I'm in foreign ends, bro. I'm in foreign ends, nervous. But you know when you see the man them walking, you know you can't cross the road.
No, you can't.
You have to walk straight.
Red flag.
You know in your mind,
You don't even look right. You don't even look right.
Panicking.
Don't look
Like,
right,
your
just-
face can't look shook.
look shook. You gotta look like you
can't
belong.
Yep.
You gotta look like you belong. So now you're walking, you're telling yourself, God, please. God, please.
Not
And
today,
you're walking,
please.
not today. And I'm like, yo, you cool, bro. You saved my
you're
brother.
safe,
You're my man's cousin, innit? Yeah.
Come on, of course. That's it. And that's how it is. And so,
My man's cousin, you know.
it's always like that. So he obviously coming from Brixton, he's a lot closer to the roads, and he was just like to me, yo, E-man, you've already bust case. From I was at Marks and Spencer's, he was like, right, come on, you got a proper job already. You know what I mean? You're at uni. You don't need to be. You don't need to be. So it was a case of when he was on, he just onto me like, E-man, just focus on this. Trust me, you're gonna blow. So obviously, when I've now, I didn't even tell you. So when I got the job at Barclays, instead of getting a Saab, I got the BMW 3 Series.
Wow.
Good morning.
M Sport.
This is
Saying
like,
nothing.
this is like 22, 23.
Saying
22.
nothing. Saying
So
nothing.
22.
Wow.
So I picked the interior, I picked the outside.
You're definitely going to Brunel at these points,
They've
innit?
delivered it on the big van.
Man.
They've delivered it on the van and then they've just cut roads.
Yeah.
I've said,
At
wow.
22, calm.
At 22. Come on.
Back in them days.
Come
Mad,
on.
yeah.
So obviously now, when I've got this and he said, look, see, and so from there I just knew that roads, all of that, because obviously when you work in a bank, man, I'm always like, oh bro, just give me some details, bro. We can all eat.
Yeah, for real.
I'm Nigerian, bro.
Yeah, you're thinking, okay, doing the maths.
We've got man doing 419 everywhere. Every day, all over the place. It's all rapped about. It's all common. Singing songs. You understand? Man, I talk singing songs about it.
Singing songs about
Like, do you understand? They were so proud. But I just like, nah, my cousin was like, listen, you've bust case early, so it's not for you. And so it's so important about the people you have around you.
Trust me, man.
You man will bust because you've got each other. When one man's not feeling motivated, you've got someone else to say, yo, bro, I know it's hard, bro.
Gets like that.
Hard.
Speaking about that, we're gonna take a break, but you know, you've been dropping gems just about you. Like you're just talking about your life, and we've learnt so much, you know, just from some of the gems you've dropped. But we're gonna take a break because what you were talking about, we actually want to talk about in part 2. So just stay tuned for that, and then
we'll be back soon, guys.
Cool.
Alright, cool. Alright, yes, guys, back with the second part of this episode with E-Man. With the E-Man Effect. I mean, this episode's been amazing so far. He's talked about his background, how he got into kind of, you know, the financial industry, and his journey so far. What we want to do next is talk about an important topic that Kenny suggested that we go into, group economics. Bro, you know, I think it's such a big thing. There was one post you had on Instagram where you spoke about it. Was so funny. You're saying that why do them use group economics to buy bottles in the club?
Hey.
Listen, that hit home for everyone.
That hit home for everyone, by the way. And he said, but why don't you use this to buy houses or get investments? And obviously, that's sort of the strategies that we use and things like that. But I want you to talk about group economics and why it's so important in our community, in our industry.
Bro, do you know that video?
That video. Oh my days.
Triggered.
I never knew so much man them followed me. Listen, man them came out of everywhere. Even what you do, be like, why you doing?
Triggered.
Nah,
I was so triggered.
Nah, man them was angry.
That was the funniest video I've ever seen in my life. Bro.
Everyone saw that. Everyone saw
that video.
Listen, people's girls are even sending it to them.
I said you 100 for the bottle, yeah.
Hey!
Oh man!
Too accurate.
I
Too
hope
accurate.
you are listening to this one.
Too accurate.
You know what I'm saying?
Too accurate.
But it's for me, and that's my content. My thing is about, we can talk about group economics. I don't think we realize the stuff that we do. That's standard. And so for me, it was like, we're comfortable to do these things, but we're not comfortable to put money together to invest and grow.
Very true.
And that was the message. Obviously, the banner was on.
It's so important.
But that was the message. And for me, when I doing my job, I meet so many people from so many different communities. Remember, I've been doing this since I'm 22. I'm 36. Do you see what I'm saying? So man's been doing this thing for 14 years. I've met people from Asian community, Jewish community. I've met obviously white people. Listen, millionaires. And you know, let me tell you something about millionaires. Yeah, the hardest thing about being a millionaire is getting the first million. Yeah, once you get that first million, you're gone. Why? Because millionaires invest with millionaires. Word.
Yeah.
When you think about, when you talk about Bill Gates and all these men, you see them in rooms with other millionaires. Because they're like, right, if you've got the mindset to get your first meal, you've obviously been doing something right. So how do we collaborate? How do we make this more permanent? And then before you know, you see Jay-Z now talking about billionaires.
Yeah.
Being a billionaire.
Conversation changing. You're right.
Yeah.
It's changing.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was so important to understand that group economics is so important, and it's more than just working together. It's also about the knowledge as well. So for me, I got a group of young people that I worked with when I was at church. So I went through the process, and then I became a youth leader.
Okay.
And then I went and taught them. And like I said, when I was 22, I'm driving a nice car. These men will say, "Right, the only people they know driving that car are drug dealers."
Yeah, facts.
Now, if you see my young people from the church and you see them today, 80% of them work in financial services. 60% of them did did accounting and finance as their degree at university.
Because Auntie said, look at E-Man. Go and study that one. Make sure you study that one.
That's the degree that I did, accounting and finance. And so now we look at, what is your influence?
Exactly.
What is your legacy?
Yeah, man.
What are you influencing the next generation? Because you know what, for me, the next generation hold me accountable. You, man, hold me accountable. Because I understand that the things that I need to do is so that when you men come, you man don't have to go over them. You man know it's possible, right? E-man did that. So if E-man did that, we can do. Do you understand?
Facts.
And so, also, the younger people that are around me are like, right, E-man, you've been able to. I know it's possible. You see, in life, until we know it's possible.
Honestly.
Until we know it's possible, it feels impossible. I remember when running 100 meters, 10 seconds was a big thing.
I remember, yeah.
And then Usain Bolt came.
Smash.
And now, man are running 9. That's
normal.
9.
Yeah. No, it's so normal.
Normal. Man will finish 8th.
It's mad.
In 9.8.
It's mad.
Yeah.
It's mad.
It's crazy.
It's so quick. 'Cause even with our platform, like we started doing property in our 20s, of course, that's relatively young. That's what people would say.
We're
But
still in our 20s.
we're still, I mean,
please.
we're still, we're in our 20s. We're youngest. We're still youngest. But you see people that in our DMs that are like 18.
Come on.
17, Akin, I want to get into property now. I saved up the first 5k. Can I do rent to rent? Can I get my first house? I'm like, rah, fam. I was just learning about credit at like 21, 22. So it keeps on getting better and younger. And
not only that as well, like we had footballers, like
young footballers who
probably come from places where they have a bit more money, and they're thinking, okay, what do I do with this? How do I get into property? So we're getting people from all kind of sides. You know what I mean?
So I get that 100%. I get that concept.
And so for me, it was then about if we can put our money together, how much further can we go? And this is why I love property. Like I would tell people, I own one property, but I've made so much money from property because we always focus on ownership. But actually, for me, I can put my money into a deal. These men, while I'm working on what I'm doing, these men are doing their thing,
making it happen.
Returns. We get my returns, and then we go again.
Yeah, we chat after, Eban.
Do you understand? Do you understand? And this is. Every man feels like, I've got to be a landlord. Listen, it's not for me. I'm not everyday landlord. Not every day I want to deal with tenants and that's somebody else's problem.
You know what? Like what you're saying, I just want to touch on it because this whole idea of ownership, it sort of ties into the reason why I personally think people want to do stuff on their own. Yeah. It's like I did this. Me. This was all me. Come on, all me. Like that's just one of the reasons why I think people are on this whole let me do this alone rather than work with my partner. Do you know what I'm saying?
And this is why I don't want to. I know people are always going to get mad when I talk, but one thing I always talk facts because I lived it. I've been doing this thing. I hardly ever see an Asian person talk about I just bought a house. Here are my keys. It's normal. It's bread and butter. What do you mean?
It's facts.
We've been buying houses.
It's facts.
It's like that's the same way. That's like us. I don't know. It's like us saying, "Wow, man, et jollof." Like
normal.
It's normal.
And I can't. Like, when you're around money, you can't even be moving a bit too weird like that. They just look. People be looking at you thinking, "All right, like."
It's just like a change. Like some of the things like maybe 3 years ago that you would look at and say that you want to stunt with. Now you're with people that listen, they got 10 of them. And you're just like, listen, let me just be humble.
Let me just chill out.
I'm never gonna snap anymore. I'm just gonna chill.
Because it's not needed for me. It's so whereas we are so. And it's important, don't get me wrong, the stuff that we're doing, like buying our first properties, I totally understand why you would post it. But we are here to make sure that that next generation understand that this is a standard. This is normal.
That is big.
But the reason that it's not normal is because you do it on your own and you're quiet about it and you don't tell no one. So you're working hard and as you're saving, you're telling yourself, no, I can't wait till I
show people.
Because everyone's these persons put on lubes on the thing. This person's on holiday over there and you're saving for your house. Saying,
watch.
Watch when I do my thing.
Watch. And you just see the keys and the picture.
And you see the one key.
I said the one key.
The one, like, do you understand? At these times, when you really think about it, there are men that don't own. I know men that make so much money from property and they rent.
They
rent 'cause they wouldn't even think of buying a house in the area that they want to live because they know it's overinflated. But they're still making their money, and so we have to understand what are we doing. I've got guys that will use property as a bank account. I said it at the event I was at. I got Russian guys that their economy is not great. The money, the government can lock the thing anytime.
Imagine.
So these men are buying things in Knightsbridge and all of that, and no one's living in it. To them, it's a bank account. Because they know they're getting X percentage each year, just like you would in a bank account.
I need to holler at those guys.
Do you see what I'm saying? So it's about understanding that there's not one way. The problem is, and let me tell you something, and I'm just real with it. A lot of the time, what will happen is that man will read a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, or one of these books here, and now this is your philosophy, and I totally get it. But you need to understand that everything is sales. When I understood everything is sales, a lot of the time with these types of books, they're giving you all these philosophies. They're selling you a course on the back.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I went to the Rich Dad Poor Dad course.
You understand?
I can relate.
You understand?
I went to another course, but I don't like to talk about it.
I'm still traumatized.
I'm still traumatized.
And so it's so important that, but at the end of the day, if we can come together, why would I not trust my people? Why would I not trust my people? Who told me that my people? Guess what? It was probably on the media. Do you know what I heard as well?
100.
So one of my friends has a shop on the road, and he's friends with one of the other shop owners, the Asian guy. Yeah. And he said that they all put their money in from India. Yeah. They put their money together and set up one guy to have a shop. Yeah. And they do it again, save up, put their money together, set up that guy to have a shop. Yeah. And bit by bit, they'll own the whole street. Yeah. They'll own the whole street. Yeah, so
exactly. And I mean, like I said, I'm from East, so I got a lot of Bangladeshi friends, and a lot of these men own corner shops and that. And he was saying that man's dad might work in that corner shop for free, getting no salary, but they're stacking. Yeah, he's gonna go get his own corner shop. Then he's gonna call his brother from Bangladesh to come and work. Man, I work for free. Man are smiling. Yep. Man are working for free. Man are happy because they know that they're on the road to they're getting their
own what, shop. Bro, you're touching on an amazing point, because sometimes there's when we look at our journey, there's a lot of things that we might have potentially done for free or for cheap. In order to leverage, look, we're good for it, and that's put us in in amazing positions, because we've just been hungry enough. We ain't got money initially, but it's been humble.
Yeah, because you haven't like let's say that there's a chance to meet somebody who is way ahead of you in what you want to do, and then you want to be paid for that. You know what I mean? Like sometimes maybe just hear what they have to say, like hear that wisdom, because that's all you can need to take you to the next step, or just them being your sort of mentor. That's all you might need.
And you got to know, like, for example, like, man does podcasts. Man gets paid to go on podcasts. But man will do podcasts for free. And I know, like today, I know who I want to do podcasts for free for.
But thank you.
But I know who I want to do podcasts. I know what I'm doing. When I get, and this is the thing, what do we pay? Like, I always used to get angry when, we see the BET Awards and none of our people none of the big celebs are at the BET.
And
you go to the Grammys and
they're there. What do you mean?
Listen, when I get the call from my people and say, yo, E-man, let's do, come on, let's do this.
Because this is where the impact is.
This is where it is. This is important. Like, and so for me, it's so important for us to understand that, yes, there is a time when you need to go on your own. There was a time when I needed to level up. I needed to learn. I needed to develop. But even when I was focusing on myself, I was learning from others. Barclays taught me so much.
Can you imagine?
What I learned in that time in Barclays was so much, and I got paid to learn. And that's why sometimes when people try to knock employment, I don't understand.
Bro, they need to stop that, man. They need to stop that, man.
Like, I got paid to learn, and I got to make my mistakes on somebody else's money. With somebody else's time. You understand? And so that helped me develop. But now I always tell people, I work 3 days a week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's packed. I'm busy. The other 4 days is mine. I've done this for the last 2 years. I could make more money, but I just like the balance. My kids are young right now.
Yeah, they need you.
Do you understand? They need man. I like to pick them up from school. I see the smile on their face. Do you understand?
Yeah,
I like to help them with their homework. Like, it's beyond like just when we talk about when I named it the E-man effect. It's beyond just making money and like money come. I've seen sad millionaires. And I'm talking sad million. Man, them that I mean, don't trust nobody. Man, I can only trust you as my finance. You don't know me, bro. You just went today.
It's crazy to think about.
That's mad.
Could be a sad millionaire.
You always think like, what when I get that one first?
But these times,
life is good.
It's such another big point, because this is another reason why we started the podcast, because we could have just went away for 10, 20 years in the quiet, built up the millions, God willing, and then come out and look at it, and everyone will be like, all right, mate. But, all right, mate.
Really affected,
So obviously, but exactly, but through the journey that we're going through, people know that we're not millionaires yet, but they know that, okay, they're doing all right, they're doing pretty good. Every couple of years they're doing better. They're doing better. They got this new project. So eventually they get to see it for themselves.
It's like, come on our journey.
Come on our journey, man. Just want to say. So
it's possible, and that's the thing. It's about being open. I'm always honest. I always let people know what I'm on.
Appreciate it, man.
It's about it's about being open. Like, don't hide. Be open and let people know, because now you let a wise person learns from somebody else's mistakes. But if I don't know you're making mistakes, guess what? I'm just going to make the same mistake.
That's true.
Why would you guys make the mistakes I make? It's impossible. If I'm here, why would anyone come in after you thinking to do the same thing make the mistakes? You guys exist, so those mistakes don't have to.
Exactly.
Word. Just to segue a little bit, because obviously it is a property podcast. You mentioned how you invest in property, but you don't have to own the property. You own one house. So can you just talk us through some kind of deals you're doing, or what kind of thing you've done in the past?
Obviously, being a complete financial advisor, so when it comes to property, I do everything. So I will for some clients I'll go and find them. Like I've got clients in Africa and that I might find them properties. And actually I'll go and find them the property and then show it to them if they're happy. Some of them I've got people that go out and find properties for me because if I get busy. And I just eat whole way through the deal. So imagine I eat on the mortgage, I use my solicitor, I eat on the solicitor. When the property gets sold, I get paid on
commission.
Like, man eats from property all day long, and I don't own it.
See, I hope people are listening to
Property strategy.
And then the plan, I guess the plan going forward will be once I get a bit more. I'm doing a lot of the TV stuff just to build up the name. Do you understand? And for me, the TV stuff is just to let people know it's possible. I get emails, especially on LinkedIn, from young women. Women are more vocal. They're always out here messaging man, which is good. But the man them are a bit more reserved. So it touches me more when I get messages from man them that I'll be like, wow, you know what? And I got a message from this brother. He's like, yeah, I want to be a scientist, but I didn't think I could be an expert as a scientist because man them don't really respect that in the ends. Do you understand? But he's like, do you understand?
He's in the biomedical science.
But he's like, seeing you as a financial expert talking in a voice that sounds just like mine. Now I know it's possible.
You can be yourself and still,
you can still do it. And so for me, it's so important that we're out, and this is why I say it's so important that we're out here having this impact. So I make money from property there. Then also I get deals. So people will come to me like, yo, Iman, I need to sell this property really quickly. Then I will go and find investors that, right, you want to buy something? Or you're looking for something? Okay, you're looking to buy something. Okay, I've got something for you. Boom. I'm going to eat again. Man makes money from property so many different ways. And then, as I was saying, the next thing is to then basically, once I get a bit more time, is to open a management company. So what I'll start to do is not only just get the properties, I want to manage them for the clients and then get a residual income of managing other people's people's properties. So that's and I can do that without, and there's enough out there. So this is why I'm not afraid to say it out loud. Because you could take this idea
and go and do your own thing.
It will never impact my money.
That's also what,
do you know what I mean?
Because it's around you. It's around you.
It's around. Do you understand?
Yeah, because that's what might hold people back in even saying what they're doing or sort of documenting their journey, thinking that somebody's going to steal from them what they could potentially be getting. But yeah, also, so just to ask a few questions now, like, so what would you guys, like this for everyone, by the way, like what would you say are the pros of, first of all, working by yourself? Like, why would someone want to work by themselves? Or when would you say that, in your honest opinion, it's okay to work by yourself? Or
I mean, sometimes, obviously, you're surrounded with, like Iman was saying, you come from the ends and you look around you, the things you want to do, the people around you aren't doing it. So sometimes you need to take the onus on yourself and say, do you know what, I'm not even going to wait till everyone gets their stuff together. Let me go get it myself. So in that kind of situation, I think it makes sense.
So sometimes when you want to break away from like an environment that's not really healthy for you. Okay, Atkins, you got anything?
Of pros of working alone?
Yeah, like why would you say that you would want to work alone?
Yeah, probably a similar thing. I mean, I think when I found myself in situations where I don't like to wait for people, innit? So if I need to get something done, everyone knows me. Like, if I need to get something done, you want to come? No? Alright, cool, I'll do it myself. Obviously, I prefer if everyone's on it. I prefer everyone's going to help me. But more time, when I start to go, I understand if I start to do it now, people start to, okay, it's actually possible. Then they'll jump on the bandwagon. So I feel like, I think when you got a group, it's just much better. Obviously, it depends who's on the group, but having a group is much better, innit? So I prefer it as a group, but obviously, when I have to do it by yourself, then cool.
I feel like this takes me back to uni when you've got like a group assignment and then you realise, you know what, I wanted to work by myself for this whole thing. Like, so certain situations where you feel like people aren't pulling their weight. For me personally, that's when I'll say, you know what, let me do my own thing. And I'll come back and I'll say, listen, it's already done. The thing that I was waiting for you, I've done it. So yeah, but how about you? Like, what would you say?
I think it's just when I wanted to invest in myself. So I always tell people like, to become a financial advisor, there's certain there's exams that you got to do. As I said, I'm not the exams guy. I'm a pass type of brother. I'm with that DC type of guy.
I've been
real.
I'm that guy.
I'm that guy. Like, I'm trying to get a C, but you know what? Depending on what happened the night before, because no one's really started the night before. Anything can fly. So I now had to get 70%. That's the pass mark for these exams. I've never seen 70% in my life. But the motivation now, and I had the motivation, like, okay, I want to become a financial advisor. I want to get this new car. I know, and I'm ready to study now. I locked off everyone, even my closest friends. I said, listen, I've got to study. My dad had a shed, put the light on in the shed. I was in that shed.
That's your lab.
lab, in the shed, studying, past papers. I failed those each. You get three shots at each. There's 4 exams. You get 3 shots at each exam. I passed each exam on the 3rd time.
Wow.
Each exam I passed on the 3rd time, and so for me, I had to just focus. And I'm lucky I got people around me that were just like, you man, your study is cool. But you know, you get them bridging that, you don't follow me. I haven't seen you. Are you crazy? You can't be friends. That's not the type of person that I can have around me. If you know, like, you should be encouraging, man. Like, right, you're trying to level up. You're trying to do your thing. If there's any support you need from me, or if you want to do some, if you want me to do some practice questions with you, these are the type of people that you want. Not people that are like, you don't come out. You don't holler no more. You don't holler. We ain't here.
You changed. You changed, man.
So for me, there are times where you need to focus on yourself. But hopefully, you have the friendship groups that will support you in doing that.
Yeah. Brotherhood is so important, man. When you're for a guy when you're growing up, man. Like. Anyway, that's a whole different discussion. Let me not get into that. But I wanted to do is for the next section, which kind of rounded up now. Yeah. I don't know if we'll have enough time to talk about it, but obviously you talked about property. There's a lot of different asset classes out there. I don't want to go too much on about it, but a lot of people talking about crypto, a lot of people talking about stocks. Just a little quickly, like, what's your thoughts on these things? Are you pro property? Are you pro all these different kind of things? Just little couple of thoughts.
For me, it's about diversification. Okay. It's about not putting all your eggs in one basket. Okay, it's understanding that, you know, at any given time, anything can be up, anything can be down. Cool. Do you know what I mean? So for example, right, especially, and also where you're from. So you can read a Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that's great. But remember, my man's American. American property market is completely different than the UK. So you have to understand when you're taking financial knowledge, it needs to be centered in the country that you're in the financial system that you're in. And so for me, property is always going to make sense because we are, as a country, we are very property focused. It's a pride to own your property. Like, that's why we have things like right to buy. You know, Margaret Thatcher, if you know your history, they put these things out to allow people to buy because in our country, ownership is important. In certain places in Europe, they don't own, they rent, and it's normal.
Okay,
they rent. They don't need to because obviously that's the culture. And so they do things differently. But their pensions, their retirement plans are enough to pay their rent in retirement. We in the UK do not have that.
No, you're on pennies.
So you're nothing. So you've got to understand it. So property for me is really big in regards to understanding the country that we're in, and people are always going to need somewhere to live. Do you understand? And we know that how it works is that there are people that no matter what they do, especially with the way mortgages are 4.5 times, trying to get a mortgage, no matter their income will never, they won't be able to buy. So if you can, you know that you've got tenants. And if you see what we're going through with the recession right now and the end of the pandemic, we know that local authorities are under pressure to house people. So now your clients might not even be individuals, your clients might be local authorities. Do you know what I mean? And so these are the type of things why property to me makes sense. But then stocks and shares is another way to make money. And you know, crypto, I think over the longer term, small amounts, understand your risk. Man, them are
Dogecoin, meme coin
everywhere. Life savings.
Like if you really think about involved, but any investment that one man makes a decision and it goes up and down, it doesn't make sense. Could you imagine, like, I don't know, like the property market collapsing because one man said, no, I don't like property.
That's insane.
That's wild.
That is wild.
Your whole life savings depends on one guy's tweets, basically.
One guy's tweets.
But you know what? Like, we actually have to round up now. But no, like, this has been so good. Like, we've learned so much just from your story alone. We've learned so much. The life gems that you've given us. You know, like, sometimes it's just good to listen. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just good to listen to people that are, you know, ahead of you. So I hope that from this, like, people hear some things and that it really changes their lives as well. So
100%. We're honoured, man. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
We gotta come back and do the financial stuff.
Part 2 pending.
I think Kenny actually said, because obviously we tried to book a couple of hour sessions, we wasn't able to today, but Kenny said we want to get you done again. So in the next couple of weeks, I will shout you again. We'll come down, we'll do another part 2, and we'll have some more fun again.
Part 2.
I lie, man. That's it. But yeah, God bless everyone. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, man.
Stay tuned, man. Peace.